Hey everyone, welcome to this video. We're going to talk about how to get over your fear, if any, to study in the United States. Amanda, why would people even be afraid to study in the US? I think there's no reason to, is there?
I mean, that's a biased view.
Yeah,
My point, I'm American. I don't have a fear to study there.
You're from the most scary country in the world.
No, I think it's definitely normal for any international student trying to move somewhere to study in another country or even live in another country. Of course, is going to provoke some fears and some, doubts. That's totally normal. I think the important thing to get over that is really, put it in your mind this way: if you don't do it now, when are you going to have another opportunity? And also, if you never try, you'll never know. That would be my advice, and I think try not to let those fears take over of you achieving your real dream in the end.
And I guess to add to this, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I'm going to get to the essence. In the US, you have, like many universities would invite celebrities or people who are higher up in society, and they would share their life lessons. And one of the lessons that stuck with me is from a former governor in Missouri. And we get some ambient noise here in the background, talking about politics and the governor.
Talking about fear and.
So this guy is high up. He went through many things in life, and he's pretty accomplished. Now, one of the things that he always said is when he saw a challenge ahead of him, he would always say, instead of getting too much in my head, I'll take the first step in it. And he said, by taking the first step into any challenge, your likelihood of quitting that challenge is going to decrease massively because you're in it. So to practically, I guess in Epro's case, it would translate to having the listing of scholarships done.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're going to the embassy interview and getting your visa stamped, but it's just you're going to get an outline of possible scholarship options, and then you can still decide, am I going to take any of those options or am I not? But I think the first step is always to get the listing and know what's out there. Get your scholarship offers, because that's a very objective view of your chances of obtaining a scholarship in the United States. And then you go from there and you take the next step.
And then the farther steps that you take, it's harder to back out of it. Yeah.
And I guess once you're there, this is the last funny thing, but from there on it gets super easy. There is something called freshman week in the US. I think it's exciting for anybody that attends a college in the US, but it can also be overwhelming for international students because you're kind of dumped in this new culture on the new campus. But because you meet so many other international students, everybody's in the same boat, figuring things out for themselves. How am I going to get my new mobile phone number in the US? Where am I going to buy toilet paper? I mean, all the things. Everything is just a challenge because everything is in another country, in another language. But you have your group of international students who are all in the same boat, and you kind of help figure it out together, and then you go from there. And it's just a lot of fun and hardly any anxiety there.
Right, and I would say another thing, and I have studied outside of my home country. One of the things to get over fear is really learning how to laugh at yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And learning how to there are some things that are just out of your control, and that's okay. And most times, that's where you grow the most from those experiences, and you learn more about yourself with each fear that you pass or each loss of control that you have. So I would say learning to laugh at yourself is definitely helpful, and if you need help, ask for help. Don't be afraid. If you don't know, like you said, where to get toilet paper, ask someone. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Go to an office on campus and just say, hey, I'm international. And I guarantee you most university campuses have international offices anyways dedicated to international students. So. And
the last thing I want to add, if you haven't been to the United States, most of you probably have, many of you have maybe done a high school year or an au pair year, but if you haven't, also learn to laugh at the politics, because I guess I have to say anything negative that happens anywhere in the world, but especially in the US, gets sucked up by the news media and blown up. So you get all the negative sides.
Right.
The US is such a big country. Of course, negative things happen like anywhere. And I think it's just that we do get a screwed view because we don't get the beautiful things that happen in the world, especially in the US, every day.
Right.
They just don't get shown in the news media because they don't sell. Blood sells. It's just one of these things. But be mindful that this is a tiny, tiny fraction of US culture.
Yeah.
And then when you're there and you meet people like Amanda, hey,
we're actually all really happy and nice now.
You get the point. So thanks guys for watching. Like and subscribe, comment below, and we'd love to hear from you. Bye bye.